Preparing your car for the winter is a lot easier than you think. In fact, my next guest would suggest that now is a good time to start. He is Ron Wilson with the Alberta Motor Association. Ron, it's good to have you here, man.
Thanks for having us.
Kate and I want to know about the results of this trending poll from yesterday and if you really believe this is how people feel. The question yesterday was, is your car ready for the winter? 15% of the people said way too soon to think about it. 33% said fingers crossed, but the majority of people in Calgary really believe that they are ready. 52%. Are you surprised by that survey result?
I'm not surprised because it all depends what people mean by they're ready. You know, a lot of people may think they're ready, but they're actually not. Do they have, for instance, proper air in their tires? Have they changed their windshield washer fluid and put a good grade washer fluid for cold weather? There's a lot of things we don't think about, and the weather is changing quickly.
Very quickly. I mean, this morning Kate was mentioning it. I mean, here we are a little cooler today, and then this weekend is supposed to be warm again, then back to cool again.
Well, we did see snow in the mountains yesterday.
That's right.
So if you're headed that way, you're already running into some winter driving conditions.
Absolutely. So, you know, I would hope those 53% don't have summer tires on anymore. You know, because when you get below minus or plus 7 Celsius, you start to lose the flex or the grip on your tires.
Below plus 7?
Yes, your elasticity starts to go away. So
you brought a tire with you. So
I did.
Let's get a shot of this tire. Explain the tire for us.
Okay, so I just wanted to explain that first of all, with the tire, you can have the best tires in the world, but if you're not checking your tires with a tire gauge, with a basic tire gauge, at least once a month, and running them at the proper inflation, you're going to have a problem, because that's what's keeping you. If your tires are properly inflated, you have about that contact size of the palm of your hand under each wheel. So it's not a heck of a lot. If you're not properly inflated, you don't even have that. So you want to check your tires at least once a month with a gauge. You want to go by what your owner's manual or your tire placard tells you for tire pressure. A lot of people read the sidewall of the tire, and that's not actually correct, depending on the vehicle, because these tires are made for all kinds of vehicles. So you want to go by the vehicle designer or the engineers.
I was also, sorry, Kate.
How much on average are you supposed to change your tires, like buy new ones?
Because how much you use it, I suppose.
When you get to, we won't see them on here because this is a very good tire, but when you can see tread wear bars showing or any less than 1.6 millimeters, you definitely need tires.
I heard the penny, there's the penny rule that I've always been told of. You put the penny in.
That will work.
So what's the penny rule?
If you can see the whole head of the penny, of the, I guess it would be the queen. I'm thinking of pennies. We don't seem to use them anymore.
We don't see them anymore, yeah.
But then you would need a new tire. But the nice thing again by tires, you're going to see tread wear bars. They're little bars when you're wearing out. And you can even get in an automotive store a tread depth gauge. I didn't bring mine today, but it's just a little gauge you can put on there. And you know, 1.6 millimeters isn't a heck of a lot.
You know, when I look at tires as well too, and I think about the weather that we have, which is up and down, up and down. When do you put your winter tires on? I mean, that's always been the big question. People say, well, I do it the 1st of October, or I do it the 1st of September. What do you recommend?
Probably by mid-October, you want to start thinking about doing that. I mean,
we see a weather trend possibly as well too.
I grew up in Calgary. It seems to me that at least every second Halloween we have cold weather and snow. So.
By the way, if you have a question that you have for Ron, we just go to #WinterDriving and Ron will be able to answer that. We've actually got a few already here too. Anything else you want to ask about the tires? Because I want to move on to something else as well.
No, let's move on.
So some people have been asking as well too here online about skidding.
Okay.
Skidding seems to be a major issue with a lot of people. When, of course, based on what kind of tire you have and how close you are to the person in front of you, what advice would you give to someone when they are involved in a skid on ice?
All right, so there's two types of skids. The first one would be what we call a braking skid, when you go to stop and the vehicle just wants to keep sliding. If you have a new vehicle, 2012 or newer, you're going to have an anti-lock brake system in it. Older than that, you may not. So first of all, if you have an anti-lock braking system, hold your foot down firmly on the brake, don't let up. If you shift to neutral, you will also help it stop. The reason being you will take the power away from the wheels, whether it's front wheel or rear wheel drive. If you don't have an anti-lock brake system, because your vehicle is older than 2012 or it just doesn't have that, you would want to use what we call the threshold braking technique, putting the brakes on slightly. If it goes to lock, just easing up slightly. What we never want to do, it's a myth, and it's been a myth ever since I've been a driving instructor, is pump the brakes. Do not pump the brakes. If you pump the brakes with an anti-lock brake system, what it does is it sends the wrong message to the computer. It says, I want to stop, I don't want to stop, and it'll just keep going. So.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I pump the brakes all the
Don't
time.
pump your brakes.
Oh.
Unless you have brake
learned
failure.
something now.
Unless you have brake failure, then park it and carry on.
Is it better to, if you know it's imminent that you're about to hit someone, but if you have the chance to avoid and go into a snowbank, you would suggest what?
You want to hit something that gives. So a snowbank will give a lot better than a vehicle. A snowbank will give a lot better than a pedestrian, God forbid.
Ron, do us a favor. Stick around for a few more minutes if you don't mind. You have an emergency kit here that you believe that should be in every single car. We'll ask Ron more about that. What's exactly inside his emergency kit? Winter preparedness. Yeah, let's just do it. Part 2 of prepping your car for the winter still to come. First, here's what's happening in and around our city. This is Trending on Shaw.